As a photographer that's been doing this professionally for over a decade, I've used a bunch of different locations as a studio. When I got started in 2011, I converted my 1-bedroom apartment to a studio space. I set up a white sheet on a backdrop stand, and I did engagement photos out of there. I did headshots. I shot models. When that lease expired, I upgraded to a 2-bedroom apartment and converted the 2nd bedroom to a studio. I think I stayed in that apartment for about 2 years, and then from there, I actually had a friend that was a personal trainer. He rented out a little warehouse that he used for his gym, and typically from about 6 p.m. for the rest of the evening, he wasn't using it for anything. I think he was charging me like maybe $150 a month, and he gave me access to use that space for photography and whatever I needed it for. So that was pretty cool. I did that for about 6 months. And then from there, I got my very first official studio, which was in downtown Greensboro. And it was out of a place called the Hawthorne Building. When I think back now on some of the things I did in there, it kind of blows my mind because for the limited space that I had, I really made that place work. I was in there for about 6 months. And then, so let me kind of backtrack and explain the setup. So the Hawthorne Building is a high-rise building. They rent all the rooms out. There's makeup artists in there. There were photographers in there. There were hairstylists in there, tax offices, lawyers, whatever. But on the outside, they have 4 street-level spaces. And as my lease was expiring for the inside, I upgraded and went to the outside location. And that was a very big jump for me. The inside, I was paying $300 a month. The outside was $800 a month. That was the point of my career where I really started to level up. That studio was downtown, literally the heart of downtown Greensboro. We could go in, do some photos on a backdrop, and then step outside, and we're literally downtown. I was there for maybe about a year and a half, and then at that point, my career kind of blossomed into doing a lot more commercial work. I wasn't really using my studio at all. I was there maybe once, twice a week, and it wasn't really making sense for me to keep a studio space. So I chose not to renew my lease. I let it go. And for the next 2 or 3 years, I was predominantly just doing, like I said, commercial work. I was either shooting outdoors or traveling to my clients, to their office, or to their place of business to make the content. That was pretty much the next 2 years, maybe 2.5. In 2018, one of my clients, he actually leased out a huge building. He does car detailing. He gave me access to that space. He didn't charge me a dime. He gave me the PIN number, the security code to get in. He kept that space for a year, and then the owners decided to sell it. So he had to move out. So then again, I was back to not really having a studio space. It still didn't really matter because I was still primarily doing commercial work. And it was just nice to have that space for the off occasion where I did have someone that wanted to do some headshots or just need a studio. I had access to it. And then around 2019, 2020, another one of my colleagues obtained a studio for his tattoo shop. The space next door to him was also part of his rental agreement, and he only used it for storage. So once again, I was blessed with having access to that space. I think he was charging me $20 each time I needed to use it, and I got it for all day. I kept that up for about a year, and around the spring of 2021, I started looking for my own studio space, but with a twist. And the twist was I wanted to get a space that I could use to create my content as well as content for my clients. But in addition to that, I also wanted a space that could create me some residual income. Last year, when I started looking for potential places that could accommodate what it is I had in my mind, I reached out to my sister. Now, my sister knows nothing about photography or video or any of this stuff. I just know that she's always looking to make a business move. So I reached out to her. I told her my idea. She did some research for a few days to kind of see exactly what goes into running and managing a production studio. And she was with it. We found a building and we just made it happen. When we got this place, it was a total shell. It was just an empty building, an empty office space, an empty warehouse. And we put in time and effort and a lot of money, and we've got it up and running. For all of the guests that we're honored to have here that book our space, They're happy. They love it. So we're off to a good start. I know you guys are ready to see what the studio space looks like. So it's time for the tour portion of this video. So first up, we have the room I was just filming in. And this is the podcast / YouTube studio. Basically, people come in here to do talking head videos, podcasts. We've even had this room rented out for tutoring sessions. Other YouTubers have used this space to create content. Yeah, it's just basically a room for any kind of video content, any type of audio content. This is room number 1, the podcast / YouTube studio. The microphone is not connected and the mixing board is at home. I'm working on a project, so I actually took that stuff home yesterday. All right, so moving on to the second room. This is typically where people come to book their headshots. If they just need like a very small session, nothing major, they'll use this room. Right now we have a pink backdrop up. It's typically not up, but we actually had a commercial that was being filmed here the other day, and that's the background that they needed. But typically we have this canvas backdrop that stays up. Now, disclaimer, I think we're gonna make some major changes to this room. A complete overhaul of what this room currently is. I was talking to my sister earlier today, as a matter of fact, and we got some ideas we want to do in here. Stay tuned for that. If that whole process goes through, I'll definitely make an update video to show you guys, what we did. These 2 rooms consist of the front half of the building. So, podcast, studio space room, and as you continue back into the building, this is the restroom. Nothing to see there. It's just a restroom. This is kind of like a storage space. We actually rent this room on a monthly basis to a tenant. This is her personal office. She designs custom t-shirts and screen printing. I initially wanted to have like a makeup artist or a hairstylist or something to rent this room out to, but nobody came through. She came through, so she got it. Now we're gonna be entering the main area, the main place. I guess you could say this is where the magic happens. If you used to watch MTV Cribs, people always say that about their bedroom. Well, this is where the magic happens. This is the main studio space. I mean, I've heard it called a infinity wall, a cyclorama, a psych wall. We have a big white wall that we recently had built a few months ago, like at the top of the year. We have the roll down backdrops. If people want to change out colors and all of that stuff, we are going to be ordering some more colors. We've had these for a while. We're going to be changing those out and getting rid of the white one since we have the psych wall now. The black is pretty popular, so we will keep the black. One of the things I've experienced owning this studio that I didn't foresee is it's been a really cool place for me to network with other creatives. A lot of the creators that choose to book this space happen to be college students. Here in our city, there's 2 popular schools, UNCG or UNC Greensboro, and A&T. We actually had some kids in here earlier today, and I call them kids. If they're 20 now, they were 10 when I started doing this professionally. This has all been an experience. Just by watching some of the photographers come in here and do what they do, I've been learning some stuff. So it doesn't matter how old you are, how much you think you know, always watch other people that do the same thing that you do, because as much as I think I know, I have learned a few tips, and it might not be technical stuff. It could just be how you interact with your client. I've picked up a few things by watching photographers that are consistently coming in and out of the studio, and that was a benefit that I didn't even foresee when I opened this spot. But that's it. I don't want to talk you guys to death in this video. I just wanted to show you guys the studio space, and if you are in the Triad area, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, we would love to have you here to create some content, whether that be your podcast, a photo shoot. If you find yourself needing a space to shoot in Greensboro, definitely come check us out. Snap House Productions, aka the Snap House. Follow us on Instagram. If you like this video, you already know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, ring the notification bell, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.